All right, good afternoon. I am Saad Al-Aziz, the head instructor and owner of Semper Fortis Jiu Jitsu. And this week's question of the week was, what things should we work on or focus on each belt of our journey in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? And so I'm going to break that down for you today. Things, and each school is going to be different. And each instructor will have his own philosophy. So this will be my philosophy. Just realize you'll go other places and they'll have their own philosophy. So it's always good to ask your instructor what their particular philosophy is and work from there. So my philosophy was built, I borrowed from Saulo Ribeiro, who wrote a book called University of Jiu-Jitsu, and his philosophy is the best I've seen, and it's a philosophy that I have adopted. And basically, for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for the belts, you have white belt. Everybody starts off as a white belt. Then you have blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt, and then on up to ultimately you could go on up to red belt. So on each belt, what things should you focus on? So in my opinion, at white belt, your focus should be on surviving. You're gonna roll. We call it rolling in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Some arts will call it sparring. But when you do it, like if you learn, say, 10 submissions, chances are when you spar with more senior belts, you're not going to get an opportunity to use any of the submissions that you learn. So your focus should be on surviving, not submissions. Your focus on white belt should be on surviving. And then when you move up to blue belt, your focus should be on escaping bad positions. So as a white belt, you should be trying to figure out how to survive in your jiu-jitsu rolls. As a blue belt, you should be looking at how to escape. So if I'm in mount, how do I get out of mount? Those are the things you should be asking yourself as a blue belt. If I'm in side control or somebody has my back, how do I get out of this? And then as a purple belt, the things that I would recommend you look at is how to get dominant positions. Because in Jiu-Jitsu, a very important fundamental is position before submission. So as a purple belt, you should be looking at, how do I get this dominant position of side control? Or how do I get the mount? Or how, do I get top half guard? How do I get these more dominant positions? So purple belt, your focus should be getting dominant positions. And then at brown belt, I think your focus should be now looking at how do I get these submissions? Because you've learned how to survive the bad positions at white belt. At blue belt, you learned how to escape these bad positions. At purple belt, you looked at how to get these dominant positions. And at brown belt, you should be looking at, like, now that I got the dominant position, how do I get the submission? So start looking at submissions at brown belt. And then at black belt, you're putting it all together. So along your journey, one of the things that I look at, especially with purple belts and brown belts, is now that, they've learned the dominant position and how to get the submissions, I look at them, it's like, okay, but can you teach this? Can you explain to somebody why this particular guard pass works? Or can you explain to somebody that doesn't know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, how do you escape this bad position? I'm on the bottom of mount, how do I get out of that? And once you're able to start teaching it, then, that's what we're really looking at, in our brown belts and our black belts. It's like, can you teach this? Like I can watch you perform the art, but that doesn't mean you necessarily know how to teach the art. And once you start teaching the art, then that indicates a deeper understanding of the technique. It's like, why do you put your hand here on the third step instead of someplace else? And those are questions that students will be looking to you to answer. And your ability to answer those questions will indicate that you have a deeper understanding of the technique and why it works and why it will not work if it's done in a different way. If your hand is not here and it's over there instead. So, white belt, your whole focus, just survive. Learn how to survive. And then blue belt, learn how to escape these bad positions. Purple belt, learn how to get dominant positions. You know, position before submission. Learn how to get these dominant positions. And then brown belt, let's take a look at learn how to get these submissions. And then black belt, you're putting it all together, and your ability to teach. Can you share this knowledge? And you know, I can't stress enough the importance of early in your journey learning how to survive and escape, because I can teach a brand new person 10 submissions today, or they could learn 10 submissions off YouTube, and I could teach them 10 escapes from bad positions. And if they spar in here in class, you know, they may get they spar with the more experienced students. It's like they will, chances are, be able to utilize every escape, every survival technique they learn, but that new white belt probably won't get a chance to use any of the submissions against more experienced students. So I would say, as a white belt, focus more on surviving. As a blue belt, focus on escaping. As a purple belt, focus on getting in dominant position. Brown belt, start focusing on the submissions. And then as a black belt, putting it all together. So thank you for the question of the week from my friend Felix. And that is my answer. And any comments or insights below, feel free to leave your comments this week and fire a question off for next week. All right, thanks. Goodbye. See you next week. Ciao.